How's it going?
Evan. How's it going? It's going well. Let's see how we're rolling. We are. Yes. Hi, my name's Austin. I think most of you know me at this point, but I'll introduce myself for the streamer, people watching the stream. I guess we'd be the streamers. My name is Austin David Coffey. I'm the production manager for Samurai of the Sound and Strawberry Hill Studio. We are a production facility located just on the other side of that Golden Gate Bridge, north of San Francisco. I do host these role-playing events for our community of voice actors and coordinate with the other voice actors for our workshops and manage the community and do voice acting and audio production and recording engineering, writing, and so on. We are going to be playing Voices and Choices this evening. It is a role-playing framework designed for voice actors, by voice actors, honed by my captive audience here, painstakingly, time and time again, as we get closer and closer to that ideal, which is a framework that takes a back seat and allows you to improvise and focus on your character and still feel like a fun game and have lots of chance associated with it. And we're getting closer. We're going to talk about some of those changes here in a few minutes. And with that said, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to talk to you guys about. There's been a lot of cool developments in the last few weeks, but I think I'll try to save those for the end. Yeah. We're here to roleplay. And I would like to have a round of introductions. So if we could start with maybe someone who's done this a few times before, perhaps Laura.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Laura Welsh. I am a voice actor.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
Not to be confused with the rock star.
Not to be confused, although I do sing, but poorly. Which is a skill all its own. I live in the greater Los Angeles area. I've been a voice actor for a little while. The most recent thing I've done, you can find front and center on Oatly's Instagram page. Go enjoy.
On Oatly.
Oatly,
the oat milk.
Yeah, Oatly the oat milk.
Oh.
My character that we've been working with is called Cree. She's 17, she's a human, and she has 0 social skills. And normally is a badass, but last we left her, she got shot in the shoulder because she failed to dodge. So, there's that.
Wonderful, yeah, and we'll have to usher her character along through the story as well, because there's been some development since then. But how about, and thank you for the wonderful introduction, Chris, why don't you go next?
Sure. Hi, my name is Chris Cito Joe. I'm primarily a theater actor in the greater Houston area. I've been professionally acting for 5+ years. Voice acting has kind of been a hobby of mine for X amount of years ago, but I've recently started trying to pursue it as a career path. And as far as role playing goes, I've been with Samurai of Sound practically from the start. Tonight I'll be playing Resonetta, the elf, and she got a lot of lore dumps last session, so we'll see how that plays out tonight.
I picked the wrong week to be gone.
Funnily enough, it was completely because we had a new player last week.
Who I was really hoping would show up again. Oh, well. You're all going on the quest that we manufactured because of her, so you have her.
Yay!
There's something else to say. That was a good introduction, Chris. And how about we hear from Tony?
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm from the DC metro area. And though I've been on here a few times, I'm going to debut a new character tonight because I'm getting a little tired of talking like Shaggy. But also because the framework allows you to be a little bit more creative with your characters than other role-playing games that I've done before. So I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. I went back in my history of characters that I've created, and back in 2008, I had a short story published in a collection called The Tales of the Fluffy Bunny, published by Wolf Singer Publications in July 2018. I think it's out of print now, but I think you can still find copies of it floating around Amazon. So the character that I created that I'm going to do tonight is for that, and I'll drop a copy of the short story in for those who are on the stream. But those who are watching, I'll have to buy the book. But going through but going through this and getting reacquainted with the characters, I wrote a few poems for them, and one of those poems will be published later on this month. It's called First Flight, and it'll appear alongside another one of my poems entitled Globular Organ Mirrors that will be published in Sublimation Magazine under the theme of steam power and clockwork later on this month. So
Cool.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. Dan, welcome back.
Yes, hello. It is me. I'm Dan. I live in Massachusetts, and quite frankly, I haven't been doing a whole lot recently. I wish I could say better.
That's fair. Well, you're here tonight, and for that, we're grateful. All right. Well, if that's all for Dan, I assume we'll be
Sad, but for now.
hearing more from Wolf shortly. But in the meantime, Andrew, you were here last week. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Tevi, and I live in New Jersey. I'm currently a voice actor in training, thanks to Strawberry Hill Studios that's like training me to become a voice actor, reading the scripts, and providing the voice for the characters. And I just recently had my voice acting training with Raj, with I think like Friday.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Andrew's one of our black belt members. So congratulations to Andrew. And
Yep.
I'm glad to hear that's going well. All right. So next will be JC.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Giancarlos Velasquez, or you can call me JC, and I live right here in Orlando, Florida. You know, the same place that's owned by the mouse. I mean, you have an area that's owned by the mouse itself. So I've so far been voice acting ever since 2023, and I've been a voice actor in training under Joshua Seth, and then now with the introduction of Karen Strassman being one of my biggest inspirations, I've now got into the Red Belt Strawberry Hill program to boost my curriculum right there. And so far, I am a cosplayer, I am a voice actor in training, and I'm an artist as well, and eventually Twitch streamer at JC Calypso. And so far, I'll say I've been doing very well. I contacted one of Karen's agents, and all I'm doing is just working on a consultation to show my demo reel. So that way I can breathe interest right there.
Yes, that's right. We just wrapped up our production on JC's demo reel, and now we're starting our Red Belt training. So,
And then I think I remember my character from last time. It's been a while.
yes, sorry, I was looking at the chat. My chat moved too far away. We'll go over all the characters stuff here in a little bit. I would also like to hear from Vincent, who is making his debut this evening on our roleplay scene. So, welcome, Vincent.
You guys for having me. My name is Vinny Ali. I'm a working actor based out of Philadelphia area for over 22 years. I have a degree in psychology and theater. I've been working on stage, film, and voice work for quite a bit. It's by passion, so I get up in the morning. And I am just proud to say that I've done some voice work that is now on a song called The Horsemen at the Opera by the Chosen Few, the 144. I add the creepy voice of, they didn't really give him a character, but he sounds kind of like this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. I currently have my own podcast called Pulling Back the Curtain with Vinny Ali, a deep dive into the creative mind. I'm on episode 34 right now, and I also got done with 3 table reads over the past month. Got a couple auditions coming up, and right now I am plotting out my next episode of my podcast. Having one episode edited right now, and just trying to branch out into different things because of the way I look. I don't always get the best on-screen, on-camera roles because, Anyway, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm still new with technology, so I do apologize for being late. And if I have technological issues, don't worry, I will figure it out. I got the old reliable Blue Yeti on standby just in case, but trying a new setup to see how things go. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, yeah. And even through the Zoom compression algorithm and stuff, your quality sounds really good. Yeah. Congratulations on the table reads, auditions, and the feature on that song. Let's hear from Miss Larissa. Welcome back.
Good evening. My name's Larissa. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I am not in my sound booth. I'm just on my plain old headphones out on my sofa. And my history is mostly in live theater and improvisation, and I've been working for a while now to try to do voice acting and bring my outdoor voice indoors. Humongous challenge. Although I spent this last weekend doing quite the opposite, using my outdoor voice indoors, yelling my head off at a burlesque festival, which was tons of fun. So I got no voice acting done this weekend. Quite the opposite.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we had an absolute ball. Highly recommend a good burlesque festival.
All right, so I would also like to introduce the newest member of our community, also a black belt member, Ivan. Ivan, welcome to the roleplay workout.
Oh, yeah. Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, so, my name is Ivan Clough, and I really like voice acting. Voice acting is my thing. I think I've been practicing voice acting like a couple of years now. When I was 14 or 15 at the time. Mm-hmm. So I also collect Digimon cards.
Very cool.
No way, I met Joshua Seth, who did Ty from Digimon. He was actually my voice acting coach, my first one.
Oh, wow, you deal?
Yes, he's amazing. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's also and he's the voice of Tetsuo from Akira as well. He's very nice. He lives in Florida, actually.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Tetsuo from Akira has kind of like a supernatural powers. Like he can make the ground shake.
Yeah, it's like a mutant.
Well, with any luck, we might be doing something similar this evening. And I want to thank Ivan for going out on a limb and joining us at our roleplay workout. So let's go over some of the changes to the rules, and then we'll talk about what happened last month. Okay, so, and I hope that I've dialed in the stream here pretty well, but if any of you are watching on another device for some reason, and you notice anything off, I don't know if our frame rate is very good right now. Anyway, so basically there have been 2 rounds of changes, so I guess I'll just re-explain everything. Hopefully it's easier to understand now. Those of you who play Dungeons & Dragons, this is very familiar. It's a similar system. I'll be the game master. I'll present the circumstances and the characters that you may encounter, and then you guys are the characters. You act out what you would do in response to those circumstances. It's really relaxed. We make a lot of mistakes. We have a lot of fun. Don't worry. It's okay. You can do a voice if you want. You don't have to do a voice. It's all up to you. So the way that you make a character is you think about the kind of character you want to play, the kind of voice you want to have, maybe, the kind of inspirations you have from movies, film, books, television, etc. And you decide what their you think about what their origin is, the moment they decided to become an adventurer, the kind of clothes that they wear, the kind of the way that they talk, the connections they have in the world. The world is called Vocalia in this case, and there's a little bit of information about it online in the portal, but you don't have to read that unless you want to. You pick, for the stats, you pick a strong skill, a good skill, and a bad skill. So there's just two things. Good skill, bad skill. There's 4 skills. Strength, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's how brawny you are, how can you move objects around, how can you fight people. Dexterity, which is like sleight of hand, picking locks, sneaking around, also firing ranged weapons like bows and arrows or firearms. Charisma, which is the force of your personality, how persuasive you are, how deceptive you are, and how intimidating you are, perhaps. Also, making performances if you're a bardic kind of character. And the 4th and final skill is perception, which is your ability to problem solve and to notice things in your environment. So that can mean deducing some, like a puzzle, or being able to track through the wilderness if you're like a ranger kind of character. If you cast spells, you probably use perception to do that, although you might use charisma if you're like a bard. And any character can, in theory, cast a spell. It's kind of hard to do. Hopefully I've made it less hard, as we'll see. Notice there was a lot of room for error there. And some redundancies that I've eliminated. So, with that said, if you don't have a character yet, you can kind of think about that. I would think about that over what I'm about to say, which are the changes to the rules. But the changes to the rules are, before we were just using a D20 and a D4. Now we're using the full set of polyhedral dice. D4,
Oh boy.
D6, D8, D10,
Do we have a link?
D12, and D20.
Google has it.
Yes, yeah. If you just Google
Dice roller.
Dice roller, it comes right up. I often recommend that to people. It's not quite as fun as rolling dice, but it's
Not everyone has them.
Gets the job done. So you can do that. There's also apps if you want a cleaner UI.
How many of each should we have?
Great question. The good skill, and I recognize that your character is leveled up. We'll get to that. The good skill starts out with a D6 when they make their skill attempts. The bad skill starts out with a D4 and it's negative. The other 2 skills are the neutral skills. They don't start out with any dice. So what happens is every other session, every 2 sessions, your character will advance, right? And they will upgrade one of their dice. And the upgrade happens pretty predictably. The D6 becomes a D8, becomes a D12. If you decide to upgrade that bad skill, the D4 will just cancel out to neutral. So you'll upgrade your dice in that way. So I think by now some of you have been involved, and that's per character. So if you're starting a new character, you gotta start over. But if you're using the same character, if you're like 6 sessions in, that's 3 upgrades. Right, so you can kind of think about that. And just jot that down. It's really just 4 things you need to jot down. Your dice for the 4 skills. Right? And maybe
So if we've done 3 upgrades, it's a D10 from
D6
when
to
it was
D8,
from
D8 to D10. If you want to upgrade the good skill every time,
okay.
you can upgrade any skill you want. So you'll roll that alongside your D20. And that's
sounds
how
good.
it works. So you roll your D20 for kind of a random chance, and then you roll your skill die alongside it. If there's advantage, it works the same way. If there's disadvantage, it works the same way as it did before, where you roll that D4. And some circumstances are really risky, like spellcasting, or like if you're going for like a called shot, like I want to shoot him in the kneecap or something very specific. If it's a risky circumstance, that means you're going to roll with disadvantage. You're going to roll that D4. But if you succeed, it's going to be really effective, and that D4 flips to a positive. And I made a spreadsheet for myself so I can just plug in numbers and it'll calculate all that for me. Because as simple as you try to make it, sometimes there's still some math. So it's just reading dice. There's no more modifiers floating around in space. Hopefully that makes it easier. All right. So
on Google, sorry.
No, yeah.
On Google, it says like there's a plus button. Does that add the amount of dice that I have?
No, that adds like a flat number, I think. You just click the you just click the dice again.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you click the die itself, it will disappear.
So basically, which dice do we use? The square, the 8, or the?
Oh, good question. So you might hear me say like 6-sided dice or D6. That means the one that says the 6 on it.
Okay.
If I see D8 or 8-sided die, that's the one that has the 8 on it. You know.
And we roll sets of 2, right?
Yeah, you always roll a D20 and then you roll your skill die. And then insert.
Got it.
Hey, Austin, a question for you.
Yes.
So do I get to use a dice roller for our fun?
Yes, that's perfectly. Whatever form of dice you want to use is fine. Some people prefer physical dice or any kind of online dice are fine.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
And another thing. You see my character right here? I'm playing as a fighter or a brawler.
Beautiful. What's your brawler's name?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure I'll just go with Johnny Maxwell.
Love it, Johnny Maxwell. That's perfect. Writing that down. And so that's really great that you have a little image for your character. That's totally cool. And with that said, why don't we contextualize ourselves a little bit? And if I could have someone recap a little bit about what happened in the last session, it's usually Chris. I'm sorry, but you're just a great explainer.
It's all good. I mean, yeah, yes, I'm just pulling up my notes here. So we, as the Order of Echoes, had been tasked with investigating a basically an evil presence in Mount Sable, which sits right outside of Sablewood, the town. The town had been occupied by New Sternium guards, who are, I guess, the rivals of the Order of Echoes, and we were afraid that maybe New Sternium was overstepping, so we went to investigate. They were dealing with an evil force. We went in there, we took care of it.
Did we? Did we?
I mean, kind of. There was a little bit extra that gets expanded upon. So when we exited the cave, Resonetta had something of a meltdown, and
small crash out.
a little bit. So at the start of last session, a new character appeared, a fairy from the Silver Council, who has ties to Resonetta and her past. She, we had discovered in the mountain the snake skin, and no one was really sure what that was all about, not even Resonetta. The fairy, her name was Patina, came and explained that the snake god Silserpo was possibly still alive, despite rumors and despite the impression that the god had died, which gave Resonetta very conflicting feelings. So as we made our way down the mountain to get to Sablewood, we heard a very loud roar or a howl that started shaking the entire mountainside. There was a landslide incident. A lot of us fell right to the bottom. Once that was dealt with, and once we got back to Sablewood, the captain of the guard, Claudia, met with the party, and it was revealed that the emblem on the New Sternium guards, I think it was like a crimson or red hawk. Is that right, Austin?
Yes.
Patina identified that as the Great Blood Bird. I think that's what she called it. That had fought Sil Serpo at one point. It was at the end of the day, it seems like Sil Serpo is running amok, and the New Sturnium Guard are concerned that it will basically destroy Sablewood and go on to cause more damage. So the party is stuck trying to figure out what to do, and well, we'll see how the roleplay plays out, but Resonetta has a lot to think about now.
Okay. So, thank you for the recap. And let's say that, let's pick up right where we left off. And it is almost the middle of the night now. And you guys have just had this really long conversation with Claudia and Claudius, and she, you sort of made fragile amends, I would say, with the New Sturnium Guard, and almost made peace with the fact that the guards are now occupying Sablewood. And the people recognize, you sort of convinced them that might be the safer option, with werewolves running amok. And for now, at least, that seems to be the new status quo. You also
Can I add something?
Yes, of course.
Yes, so my character took a hiatus but came back after hearing the hunt for werewolves because he is, for example, a bounty hunter of the law, and he will, since my character is half vampire, he does hunt for the undead of the night as well, while also being at risk of being hunted by other hunters himself as well.
So Verhelius, right?
Yes, Verhelius Forvos, which means Verhelius the Dread. So basically coming back just so he can hunt along them.
So
His weakness being daytime, that's why he wears a big hat in daytime, because of the sun. At nighttime, he's more versatile.
well, as
Fedora,
you're explaining this,
Stetson, beret, derby hat, feathers, yay or nay? Need hat details.
Yay, like a musketeer hat.
Ah, good to know.
as you're explaining this to the party, Claudius steps forward. She kind of gives us a stretch. She's wearing a full suit of armor, but leather armor bearing the insignia of the red hawk, as we discussed. And she comes over and she says, well, she's getting really tired. It's been a long night, but I couldn't help it overhear that you're something of a werewolf hunter. Looks over at Verhelius.
I put down my drink. Yes. What seems to be your problem?
Well, you might be aware, and as she's saying, she's cut off by another howl that ripples off in the distance, and kind of like shakes the leaves of the trees. And as people have sort of collected themselves and are kind of moving off to, they've cleared most of the rubble from the landslide, which had collapsed a few of the houses. And they've picked themselves up and they've started to make their way back to bed, but this howl interrupts them and stops them in their tracks. Some kind of glance towards the forest, and others, families, fathers are ushering their children along. And Claudius looks back and she says, "If you are who you say you are, will you help us? I don't know."
I will help. I will, for the thrill of the fun, or of the hunt. These things are abominations of the earth, and must be exterminated. Has it eaten any of your livestock or children yet?
Not that I know of. I don't know much about this this beast, but I think you may have had dealings with it in the past. And a hobbit who you have been traveling with by the name of Ezekiel. That's his name, right? I think his name was Ezekiel, or is it Zachariah?
If you're talking about the farmer, I think it was Malachite.
Malachite. It was one of those grandiose biblical names. Malachite comes over and says, "Yeah, well, from what I can recall, it hasn't done any damage to our people, but certainly, well, we came across it in the woods a few weeks back, and it was being restrained by those old Sablewood guards, and it seemed like a pretty shaky situation. There was another werewolf traveling with us at the time who was able to quell it a little bit, but I don't see him around anymore, so we may not have the same kind of protection that we once did." And then he turns to Virgilius and says, please, can you lead a party out into the forest? I know it's been a long day, but I don't think this can wait. We have families here to think about."
Understandable. I'll take your bargain. And besides, you need to lock up your livestock and your children before it eats them. It is the easiest source of nutrition for them, especially during breeding season. So I suggest you lock them up immediately, so they don't have a source of nutrition.
Yeah, well, in that case, it's just my cow, who has been through a lot, so that would just be the icing on the cake.
I would suggest, is it pregnant? That would...
No, not that I know of. It's just there's one cow that I
Then,
have.
then lock it up to be on the safe side.
And with that, he scurries off towards his farm.
But I will ask for one thing in return. I will ask for 10 goat horns.
Claudia says, it's a bit of a strange request, but I think we can procure those for you. Might I ask, well, not that it's any of my business, but why the horns in the specific animal?
To have the priest bless them so that way I can scare, so that way the spirits of death don't eat.
I see. And then she kind of looks towards the chapel, which is a very modest thing in Sablewood. But it is there, and she looks back at you and she says, well, maybe in the morning, if this goes well, you could have them blessed. We'll have to see. And with that, she kind of gives another stretch. She says, well, I'll set a guard out to defend the town, but unless you want them to, I don't know if any will volunteer to go with you. But Samuel steps forward, who has been a guard for the Stranium soldiers, and has, despite your best efforts, almost killing him and whatnot, has taken a liking to you for your sheer gusto and diplomatic prowess that you demonstrated in the last adventure. Steps forward and says, I'll go with them. If nothing else to report back to you on how things are going, make sure everyone's safe.
Yes, I'll be more than happy to take some guests with me. But I warn you, these creatures are not man. They're not to be negotiated with. And these things are far from your average beings. You cannot negotiate with a night creature. You cannot hope for these night creatures, nor can you even give them prayers. These things are far gone. The only thing you can hope is to give them a swift, quick death. So do not hesitate when you see one.
Samuel gives a knowing nod, and then he looks back at the rest of the party and says, are you guys prepared to face whatever's in store in that forest?
I'm ready.
A fellow soldier, I see. And then he kind of like sizes you up, your suit of armor and everything. He says, nice sword.
Very nice sword. What is your name, soldier?
Me?
Well, who else would I be speaking to? Of course, you.
Yeah. My name is Johnny Maxwell, and I'm brother. And I'm more trained for this.
No sword then. Nice.
You better be prepared for tonight, because these are not ordinary men. So, I'll take you along. Any other volunteers? For the sake of your livestock and the sake of your own children. Obviously, the kingdom is not willing to send their entire armies, so we have to work with what we have.
At this juncture, Patina, the fairy from the last adventure, is hovering sort of outside this makeshift portal that she's set up behind her. And she says, she turns to Resnetta, and she says, I understand that you have some pressing matters to attend to for the safety of these people. I urge you not to forget about the dire need that the Silver Council will have for you soon. We're going to need your help for this impending threat. I don't know what this means about Silserpo gathering, but the Great Red Hawk, the Blood Hawk, will probably prove value to us. And I'm going to need your help to convince the council. I'm but one fairy. I'm not necessarily have the biggest say in the council. And, well, I can't let you travel back through this portal. It's kind of a fairies only kind of thing. But I've drawn this map, and it's not very... I did my best during that conversation. She hands it to you, and she hands it to you, Resnetta, and kind of gestures northward, in the direction that the howls are coming from. Coincidentally, and says, please make good use of it and don't tarry.
I thank you for returning my memories to me. And though I feel the Bloodhawk is a lesser of two evils, and she places a hand over her chest where a sort of black lily has been growing. I understand that Silserpo is not the deity we once worshipped. You are welcome to contact me anytime, and rest assured, I will do what needs to be done.
I knew I could count on you. I'll see you all soon.
I can count on you.
I only count on those who keep their actions where their words are. And so far, if you live up to that, more than happy to work.
Resnetta kind of looks at the two, kind of just a little, just sort of jolts it out of it. She wasn't expecting anyone to say anything, but she says, "Thank you, but I do not expect you to lay down your lives to help me with this. This is my responsibility, and it will be up to me to finish it."
At this juncture, Kree's been laying on the ground, like being cared for by somebody. I hope the arrow's been removed from her shoulder at this point, and she's still half drunk from whatever was given to her, and she's like mumbling to herself. She's like, "No, Kitty, stop chasing the chickens across the yard. No, you're not supposed to do that, Kitty." And then she jolts up and goes, "Oh, wait, Resnetta, don't touch that snake skin, it's bad!"
Resnetta.
Is that like someone's doorbell?
I've been hearing something. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all right.
Who invited the child here?
Resnetta will look very, very fondly at Kree, and she will just sort of give a knowing nod to Patina and make her way to where Kree is resting, and she says, Do not worry, Kree. There has been a lot revealed to me, and while the snake may be violent now, I can assure you it has the best intentions.
Kree, like, squints up at Resonetta, trying to, like, see if there's actually two of her there. And then goes,
Good. Because I have a headache that feels like it goes straight through to my feet. What are we doing?
Sounds like we are preparing to hunt werewolves. And
and various night creatures.
What does the map dictate in terms of the direction we're going or what to find there?
northerly?
Well, it's hastily drawn, but you can tell that you're meant to proceed northward through this forest that is known as the Whispering Grove, which borders it borders the town of that you're in now, Sablewood, but to the north instead of the west where you traveled through before.
And if your map is faulty, I have a werewolf tail that can track down a scent. It turns out one passed through last night, and I spotted the tail right here. We can use this to track down one of them.
And you can tell from the map that although the forest is quite expansive, it leads eventually to this sort of mountainous region that is still heavily forested. You can tell by your mountain squiggles. And that where a giant tree is nestled in the mountains. And the path that she has drawn through the forest in the mountains that leads to this tree. And based on the scale, your best guess, it might be a couple of days' journey on on foot at least.
Oh, looks like I'll have plenty of time to get over whatever this headache is. Alright.
Maybe you shouldn't give children alcohol.
Tell that to Penelope. She said it would make me feel better.
Yeah, one hell of a mother she would make.
How does Penelope respond to this?
Do you want to cure wounds?
Yes, not by drunking children. What is your idea of getting children drunk to heal wounds?
Immobilization so that the injuries don't get any worse. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Well, I wasn't the one who did it.
Sam walks over and says, sometimes you just gotta work with what we got. Now, no worries, Tony. No worries at all. We'll see you if you want to just hang out and listen, or we can meet again next time. Up to you.
Emerging from the crowd is a lone figure who has war-torn gear that is rusted and has many holes with many stories to tell, and his body is just as creaky. A man emerges around 5'10", decently muscled, with a graying beard but eyes full of fire. He humbly requests, "Is this the party that's going to fight the werewolves?"
Yes, old man. Are
Hey,
you wanting to volunteer?
I may be old on the outside, but on the inside I have the fire of a lynx. I'm seeking one last run. As you can see, I've faced many a battle, but none of a werewolf design. Who do I speak to about joining this party?
While you're looking at the party, as I look at you with my red eyes and my fedora and my crusade and my musketeer hat.
Is it a tricorn, I think?
Huh?
I think it's called a tricorn. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, tricorn. Yes, you're more than happy to join us. As I sit my
Can I join Phil?
Yes, of course, you're part of the party as well.
Yes.
I see. Well, let's have a look at you. All right, I think we can do some good damage here. Maybe do some good before the day's done. When shall we begin?
Sam steps forward and says, ushers you along and says, all right, let's get going. I heard that a certain vampire hunter may have a lead on the trail. And he kind of looks towards JC, your character. And I'm going to have you make a perception check to track the werewolf through the forest.
First roll of the episode.
So do I roll?
You're going to roll a d20, and then I assume, I don't know what your character's good skill is, but it seems like it could be
yeah, so
strength.
basically, strength is 9.
Where is
Dexterity
the
is
new
13. 13 plus 1. And my consumption is 15 plus 2.
Okay.
And my
so
intelligence is 14 plus.
So out of the
14 plus.
So the skills are pretty similar in voices and choices. It sounds like strength might be your good skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Strength is my good skill, and speed will be my good skill at nighttime.
Okay. So then you're going to make this perception check with just a d20. So just roll a d20 and let me know what the number is.
13.
13. Okay. So what had you mentioned about the werewolf's tail? You said something about its tail.
Yes. The tail was ripped out of a werewolf with a silver arrow from a priest. I got it from him, and I decided to track them down in case the map failed us. So far, yes, they are in the northern region, but we must be prepared for ambushes, because werewolves are especially strong with the moonlight. So in order for us to get an advantage on the werewolves, you must block out the moon.
Okay. So as you are proceeding northward down this forest path, it takes you several hours. The night is getting quite deep at this point. The stars are coming out, and you hear another howl, which is much louder now, shaking the trees around you and triggering the egress of the local wildlife. Okay, and you see not far off of this trail that you've been following of disturbed brush and whatnot. Perhaps a thin trail of blood left behind by what you can assume is this arrow that has found its mark in the werewolf.
I take my fingers and I lick the blood.
Yeah, we have a weird crew.
That doesn't seem very sanitary.
Either a goat or it's a elk.
And you arrive.
Move my teeth.
You arrive into this small clearing where you can see a man in just tattered robes that could once have been some semblance of armor, but is hanging very loosely off of his frame. And he's got this this hulking beast kind of in this metal like collar, and it's just the beast is just scrambling around this like tree that it's been tethered to. And the man is just kind of like haggardly like keeping cautious distance from the werewolf. But it is basically like bleeding a little bit, and you can see that as you get to the clearing, this wolf kind of stops snarling at the man and looks back at you, and the man says, "Oh, you must be the help that was sent Therion,
Yes.
Therion must have returned. Did you bring the blessed arrow? And he says, please do something. And this
Yes.
wolf is just clawing and scrambling.
Where is he?
You're talking about the wolf? He says, do you mean Therion, or the wolf is right there?
Right. Let me grant it a mercy kill.
Resonetta will hold him back for a second, and she asks the man, "Is this wolf? Was this wolf once human? And if so, how recent was his transformation?"
He says, hey, I remember you from before. It's the same wolf. You were on the west side of the town, but you were coming in. He used to be one of my fellow guard members, but some madness overtook him. We had to leave the town. I've been trying my best to keep him at bay out here, and I just sent my partner Therion, he was a member of the town guard too, off to see about getting some kind of silvered arrow, and he came back with one, but it didn't quite meet its mark. It wasn't enough to kill the beast, and well, whoever he bargained with, I didn't have time to ask questions, apparently only allowed him one arrow. And so now he's gone back, and well, I assumed he sent for you, but as you can see, we're dealing with a problem here, and this wolf is, you know, scraping and clawing and threatening to break loose from the iron.
He's getting more feisty. We need to take care of him immediately.
This man is innocent. He was not born a werewolf. Is there no way to reverse this?
There's hardly any way to reverse this. It's like rabies and smallpox. No less visible, no less deadly.
But it's controllable. We have had a werewolf in our party before.
When werewolves don't give in to their nature, that's when they won't. I've killed plenty of their kind before. Plenty of my own kind as well.
But something strange is going on. There's not even a full moon overhead, and we've got a werewolf on our hands running amok. What's going on?
Either that or we have a witch nearby.
I'm going to say that's a nope. This is a nope situation. I don't do witches.
You want to nope on out of here?
So some of you would remember, those of you that were involved in some of the previous adventures, remember that the wolf started taking on this form after you destroyed the gems in the cave on Mount Sable. So it wasn't tied to a witch, but whatever kind of energy was in one of those crystals sort of is what triggered the. Actually, sorry, it was the whatever curse was latent in the first werewolf kind of just transferred and found the path of least resistance into one of the town guards. Is how the curse was transferred, and we determined that in a previous adventure.
Since I've never seen a wolf before, I walk up to it, giving about a foot away from the chain's extended length, and I peer at it just to kind of get that understanding of it. And because I'm old and curious, I ask him, "My good man, why do you take on this form? I mean, does this feel more comfortable for you?"
He just snarls and takes a swipe at you.
There's no need to be rude, son. I'm merely trying to understand you.
Attempt, and I would probably assume that because you're an old man, maybe dexterity might be one of your bad skill.
Yeah, pretty much. I have no animal handling skills, but I think I do.
Negotiation.
Oh no!
So
you cannot negotiate with a creature.
You're gonna make your skill attempt with a disadvantage. So it's gonna be a D4, but it's gonna be negative. So roll a D20 and a D4.
D20 and what else?
And a D4.
D4. Got it. All right.
Hey, Mr. Senior Citizen, sir, have you
Don't-
spoken? What's your name?
Sean Ronnery. Nice to meet you.
For crying out
Of course it is.
loud.
I rolled a natural 20.
What?
And
And on my 20, I rolled a natural 20, and I rolled a 2.
Wow. Okay.
I'm lucky.
So this wolf doesn't seem to heed the words that you're saying to it. It's just madness behind its eyes, glinting in the starlight of the moonless night, and it just tries to grab you in this bear hug, essentially. And the chains are rattling against the tree, but you, with surprising reflexes that betray your age, you're able to take a step back and dodge the attempt on your life.
Oh, aren't you a feisty one? Are you happen related to my ex-wife? My goodness. Such manners. I step back and I mock the werewolf for striking at me. Rawr! Yeah! See, I can speak wolf too.
Elder One, do you think you are able to appease this creature, at least so it is not so hostile?
I mean, I'll give anything a shot. Why not?
Do you got some magic hidden under that cloak of yours?
Yes, I have God on my side, as you can see. Working in my favor so far.
Oh, you do blessings.
Yes, for the right cause, for the right price.
Perform weddings, bar mitzvahs. Oh, okay. And
well, you know, I mean, I've never seen a werewolf before, but I was quite curious about it. You know.
Then I'm going to need more arrows.
And I'm going to need more ale.
It's safe.
We still have the stones, the inert stones that were in the cave.
Yes. Yeah, there was
somebody has them on them.
I think there was a gold, a red, and a silver stones. So perhaps you can. I don't know who's holding them, but
I'm gonna say Wolf was, because Wolf has the collection of the most stuff.
Yeah.
Where? Just
Wolf,
when we need.
Can you check and see if they're doing anything that's being close to this werewolf?
Open the bag up. Are they doing anything?
Yeah, actually. All three of them are shining and pulsing in unison.
All right, he's going to close the bag again. That's bright. My eyes.
Now you know how I feel every single day.
I don't recall asking, but good to know.
Yes.
All right, so we got shiny stones, an aggressive wolf, an overly aggressive vampire werewolf hunter. Is anybody adept at perception when it comes to magic and can see if there's some sort of connection with these stones and this werewolf? Because that's not me.
I can see a perception of magic, depending, but usually a lot of these people tend to be practitioners, usually those who practice in some sort of forbidden magic. Those who happen to be warlocks, witches, or people who manage to get lucky with these stones.
Alright, so I'm going to have Verhelius, you can make a perception check on the stones with advantage, because this is pertaining to this obsession that your character has on hunting werewolves.
So perception check, which die do I roll?
So that's going to be, I don't think you have an upgraded perception skill, so the advantage is just going to be your D4. So a D20 and a D4.
D20 and a D4. D27, and then D4, 4.
Okay. So you're able to deduce that the remaining sort of like cursed magic that was causing this lycanthropy is basically has been funneled and distilled into these remaining 3 gems, and if you were to have the wolf destroy them in some way, it could potentially break the curse.
Yes, the wolf will have to destroy these three stones to break the curse.
But that
These things were made usually to power witches, warlocks, or anyone who dares practice this form of magic. They must be destroyed entirely until they are dust.
And as you're holding the stones, the wolf sees them and it just recoils back against the tree, and tries to go around the other side, and very quickly meets the length of the collar, and it just kind of forced back onto its back, and then flips on its hind legs and tries to scramble up the tree.
It's okay. It's okay, puppy guard man. We're gonna help you.
Can I take the stone and then walk towards the wolf?
Yep. So as you are walking towards the wolf, you can see that it's still just trying to scramble up the tree, and it kind of glances back at you a little bit, but it's just on its way up.
I hold one hand out to calm it down as I'm holding the stone. I'm like, easy there, little one, easy. I know you're in a lot of pain, but I have something that can help you. But you've got to help me first. I try to negotiate. I talk to the wolf as if I can talk to it because,
It does not understand.
Hey, you do not speak for him. He speaks for him. It's okay. Look, see what I'm doing? I'm holding the stone. I hold the stone, and I try to crush it with my hand. I can't do it because, old and arthritic. But you do this, but better, and then you get better.
So let me ask you this, Sean Ronnery. Your good skill is, if you're a magic user, is it perception or is it charisma?
It's charisma. It's totally charisma.
Oh, that's good, because I was going to have you make a charisma check here. And so that's going to be with the D6, because charisma is a good skill. And if you are trying to communicate with this animal in a way that it'll understand you telepathically or magically, that is a magic check. So you're going to also roll a D4, but the D4 is going to count against you. It's going to be negative, because it's a risky roll.
Got it. D6, D4.
And a D20. Yeah.
And
just read me all the numbers, and I'll plug them in.
Okie dokie.
It's another 20, please.
It's actually amazing. We don't want to get the good rolls out too early. And we didn't. We have a 15 on the 20.
That's almost there.
1 for the D6, and a 3 for the D4.
Okay, so that's going to be a 13, which is a pass.
Oh, thank God.
And because of that, actually,
which god?
Because of that, it will be
one of them.
To a
The one that gives me the most luck.
Luck.
Very pious.
Maybe
I am what I am.
Illusionar, the voice of illusions. Maybe luck is just an illusion that we create ourselves.
Do seem like a bardic paladin.
You've been as old as me, you pick up a few skills.
So your 13 becomes a 19 after the risk, and the numbers in addition to guiding my interpretation also translate to gold at the end of the adventure, which I forgot to mention that the last adventure was supposed to be divided evenly among everyone. I think I just gave everyone the total amount, which is fine. Can't take it back now, but it will be divided. Anyway, so with 19, the wolf has just gotten to the lowest branch of this tree that it's been climbing, and so it's dangling with one arm just above, where you could just reach out and grab its legs if you wanted to. And it looks down at you with just terror in its eyes, and it couldn't get much further anyway. Actually, it could, because it's brought the collar up the neck of the tree. And
just give me the word. Sorry. Just give me the word. It doesn't like it needs its feet to breathe.
No.
And from this angle, you can see that there is this silver arrow wound that's in its leg area that's just oozing blood, and you can see that you can see this wound, and it does actually, the wolf actually does drop down to the ground in front of you, within arm's reach, where before, this would have meant an attempt on your life. It now is cautiously kind of eyeing you. It seems to have understood what you were telling it, and it cautiously extends a warped, matted, bloody claw towards you, gesturing.
As it gets closer, I get a good strong whiff of him, and it just kind of stops me like for a split second. Oh, dear God, boy. Oh, for the love of Mike, please just take it. And I drop the stone into his hand, and I mime clenching my fist. Hopefully he'll do the same. And go on, boy, just... Oh.
What he does is he takes the stone, and he basically shoves it into the wound on his leg. And with this wince of pain, this like moment of hesitation, but he goes through with it anyway and lets out this crazy howl that is just haunting and heartbreaking. And I'm going to have I guess the person who, let's see. Let's have. No, I'm going to continue on. And in doing so, as he pushes the stone into his leg, he clenches, like you said, and it breaks the stone. And his legs begin to resume a somewhat human form. And you can see his skin kind of fading back up. He's wearing a loincloth.
For propriety.
Thank God.
Good for you, son. The gods have smiled upon you.
And you can see that he's now human from the loincloth down. And there are 2 more stones in your hand.
What I have to be human from?
Perhaps the next stone he could crush in his jaws, so his head comes back as human.
It's probably going to be painful. How are you going to convince him to do it again after just going through that pain with his lower half?
All right,
I've got an idea.
Okay.
And what's your idea?
Does anyone have an empty bag? One that they don't mind being wrecked.
If you don't mind the smell of goat's blood and here, it's yours.
All right. He's going to take the bag, dump the 2 gems into it, and strap it so it's on his chest. And then approach the werewolf as menacingly as he can. So if it attacks me, it's going to attack the bag.
That seems rather complicated and could get you turned and or killed.
I say we might as well stuff the gems in some raw animal meat, and then when it chews it gets destroyed.
Dan, is your tell me about your skill. Dan, tell me about
just
your
take the
skills.
stone, shove it in his mouth, and then Strong Boy, the vampire hunter, just uppercut him, and then boom, done. No problem.
Dan, tell me about your skills. What was your good skill? I think you may have an upgraded one at this point.
My strong, I can upgrade. My strong skill was intelligence, but this was before the rework, so I have no idea what's going on.
Just how many sessions? This is your 4th session?
I started in January and I missed the last one, I think.
So January, February, you missed March, so April. So this is your 3rd session. So that means you have 1 upgraded skill. So if intelligence was your good skill, what was your bad skill?
Strength.
Strength? Okay. And so which one do you want to upgrade?
Intelligence again.
Okay, so that means you have a D8 in intelligence, and we're going to treat this as an intelligence check because it's kind of witty, and I like it. And we're going to see if...
It said I've upgraded the intelligence twice. I don't know. On my notes, I don't know.
I think, well, based on the current rule set, it would just be 1. I did slow the, and by the way, when I say intelligence, I mean perception, but I did slow the progression a little bit so that we don't max out our characters too quickly.
All right, so D20.
I'm gonna mute myself. Sorry.
A D20, a D8.
Yes,
that's it.
That's correct. Yeah.
Austin.
Oh yes, sorry. Yes, that's correct. D20 and a D8.
Okay, I got an 11 on the D20.
Mm-hmm.
A 5 on the D8.
5 on D8. Okay, great. So, the werewolf is going to take the bait, look past Sean, and it just lunge at you with his big claw as if to go for broke here, and you see it whiff past this bag, and it kind of rips it off of your chest, and it just crushes it with his claw, and as he does so, his arms start to fade back into human form. You can see his flesh kind of being restored, and before you know it, he is human from the neck down.
Okay, and Wolf is going to scuttle away quickly, all fours, just like bye.
I cannot believe that worked.
I knew it would work.
Okay.
Totally the truth.
Still not following you off a cliff, Mr. Lemming.
I said my way would have been quicker, but I guess this was fine.
I mean, we don't have to fight every monster we meet. You could be an ally.
Resonetta will take the final
Also, fighting is hard.
Resonetta will take the final stone and approach the wolf, and will sort of gesture towards the wolf's mouth as if to say, "Here, bite this."
All right, well, that's going to be the wolf isn't quite sure whether or not to trust you. It's been in a lot of pain over the last 2 transformations, and you're going to need to make a charisma check.
Maybe I should do it.
Can I do?
Or
you can. And by the way, old man, what kind of creature is your ex-wife? It seems like this isn't your first creature you dealt with.
Let's just say I have varied tastes, and I like to keep it interesting between the sheets.
EMI, shut up. Thank you.
Can you tell me about your skills? You've been in probably more sessions than anybody.
Yeah, so I've been in 5 sessions, so tonight would be 6. So that means 2 upgrades, and I decided to upgrade charisma.
Oh.
So I think that is just a flat D20 then.
We can roll both of them. We can roll both of the. They don't cancel each other out. You can just roll multiple dice.
Okay. So.
Wait, sorry. Did you just upgrade charisma once or twice?
I upgraded it twice.
Oh, so then it's a D6. Because unless it was your bad skill.
It was my bad skill. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Sorry.
I knew there was a reason we got along.
Can you tell us? Let's talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about it later after the results of the roll. But you got a D4, and so roll your D4 and roll another D4. One's positive, one's negative, and then skill 10 attack.
Okay, so 1D4.
Did I get that right? Is it disadvantage? Why am I saying disadvantage? I think I lost track of myself there. Why are we saying disadvantage?
I don't know. I'm not casting a spell.
Because
you
said something about the pain.
There's no disadvantage.
Didn't know to trust.
I just didn't realize you'd upgraded it twice. Yeah, just roll your skill 10 die, your D20, and your
yeah. Okay, so D20 is a 13.
Okay. And then your D4 is what?
Oh, D4 was 1.
Okay. So
okay. So I think I rolled a 15.
Oh, wonderful. We will have your brawler get in there soon. Usually I'm asking one person at a time to make a skill check, although sometimes there are group skill checks.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you're all good. And so this werewolf is going to cautiously, bite on the jewel. There's not a lot of surface area on there, so you might flinch a little bit as it, gets closer to you. And does grab hold of it and cracks all of its teeth. And in doing so, also shatters the jewel, and its head is just kind of like, the snout just kind of regresses back into his face, and you can see that his hair is now like super like matted and a little strange. But this crazy-eyed man is looking back up at you, and he just is heaving, he's heaving breaths, and he's, thank you. Oh God, what happened?
It would appear you came under a curse.
One could say you had a bad hair day that just wouldn't go away.
Oh God, I'm so much. Oh jeez, and then he kind of looks around and he sees that there's this man with these big fists that's been standing very close to him. He lashes out at you, Ivan. He lashes out in fear. He's a scared man, and I'm gonna have you make a strength check to sort of deflect these wild blows of this scary werewolf man.
Poor
Do
puppy.
we even call him a werewolf man anymore?
I guess he's just a man now.
He's Puppy Guard. That's his new name.
Okay, guys. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna fight one of the werewolves.
You're gonna fight the man now. His name is Puppy Guard.
Puppy Guard?
Puppy Guard, yes. And so to do that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll your skill attempt die, which is that D20. And then you're gonna roll your strength die, which is a D4 because that's your. Oh, sorry, it's a D6 because that's your good.
Yeah, try again.
Hold on a sec. We're talking about the dice 6.
Yeah,
and also dice 20.
And D20, correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
No worries. Go ahead whenever you're ready. You can roll both of them.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
my mic still working?
No, we can't hear you. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I can hear you, JC.
Okay, so what is the dice roll, Ivan? Did you roll the dice yet?
Yeah. I rolled a dice 12, and then I rolled a dice to 2.
So it's a 12 on the D20 and a 2 on the D6?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so you know, the number you're always shooting for to get higher than is 10. I changed that. I forgot to mention that. It was 12 before. But and we were like doing some subtraction at the end. There was a lot of unnecessary math. But I simplified that, and 10 is the number that we're shooting for. If you land on 10, it's sort of a neutral result, and if you get higher than 10, what you've done has succeeded. So, because Ivan, you got a 14, that's a success. And as this crazed man is kind of lashing out in blind rage and fear, he's throwing some punches at you. How would Johnny Maxwell respond to this?
Okay, sorry, Austin. I just had a problem with stuttering.
Oh, no worries. Take your time.
Okay, so I rolled a 11 and 6.
Mm-hmm. So there's another guard, right? Samuel, who's been traveling alongside you, and he kind of steps in and he says, "Whoa, Johnny, how you holding up? Do you need some help?" As you're sort of exchanging blows with this man, or perhaps maybe you're trying to help him down.
Yeah, I think I'll say, yes. Help me fight them off.
So he steps in and he says, "All right then," and he sort of gives the guy a good punch in the gut, and he kind of the man keels over a little bit. He says, "I hate to do this, but he had to be stopped." And the man is kind of keeled over, but takes a few more deep breaths. Oh, just don't hurt me anymore. And then he kind
Daniel
of
likes
sits
to
back
hurt
against
people.
the tree.
Didn't you swing first?
Probably. I'm just now getting my wits about me. And then he kind of scans the crowd and he says, Brannick? Brannick, is that you? Oh, have you been watching over me this whole time? And Brannick says, yeah, it hasn't been easy. He's got these deep set, bags in his eyes. But he looks back at the party and says, these guys helped you out. Maybe I can go take a break and see what's going on in Sablewood.
In fact, maybe the two
Landslide.
of you should go back to Sablewood. One of you needs to take a bath.
I'm looking at you, PG.
Puppy Guard looks back at you and then looks at his new human arms that are still covered in dirt and blood.
What else?
You're more of a dog meat than PG.
And he looks back up at Sean and says, I think you're right. I could go for a nice bath and, well, maybe some food that's already dead.
You didn't eat anyone or anything, did you?
Then he shoots Brannick a horrified look. Did I? And Brannick looks back at you guys and says, well, I've managed to keep him at bay, and that's in large part thanks to you. There was the farmer's child who, but that was the previous werewolf, and that worked out okay. So in short, I don't think anyone has been hurt. Thank the gods.
Because I was about to say, if it already had a taste for human blood, then it deserves death. But thankfully, no taste of human blood has already been casted already.
And with that, Brannick kneels down and starts unclasping the collar that's been around the man's neck. And it falls to the ground with a thud. And he rises to his feet shakily, and Brannick's kind of supporting him. And the two just start hobbling off, and then Brannick kind of looks back and says, Your kindness won't be...
People would, at least for now, cooperate with them.
We don't want trouble, at least for now.
And if you do, I'm more than happy to take the payment.
Well,
we're all gonna joke about this later. It's gonna be fine.
Do you think that I still have my post? If it's a new guard, I'm not
Man,
sure
we are
how
not
to
the ones to
turn
be
it
asked that question. I don't care. I don't know what's going on over there.
Fair
Well,
enough.
as long as you haven't devoured no animals or children, you should be fine.
More than likely, you still got a job. Y'all are a family, basically. Yeah, small town, right? So.
Well, with that, he says, if you were expecting some payment, I'll make sure to notify whoever's in charge now, and have them send it to you. If you've got other arrangements that you've been making, I'm not sure what your plans are next.
Can we just let this poor man go home?
Are you aware
For
of any...
God's sakes,
Are
he
you
didn't eat
downwind?
anybody.
Are
He
you
didn't
down-
eat anything. He's
And
just trying to go home.
And I'm trying to see if there's any more like them, to make sure that there's no more. Was someone else like you?
We need to get you a new hyperfixation.
Well, when you've been...
I suggest
for
wine and women.
years.
That's a good comment. The Brannick, his caretaker, if you will, turns back and says, "No, as some of you know, it's just the one. I mean, there was the other one, but I think it just transferred, and now, well, if there's any more, I haven't heard. I've seen hide nor tail of them." And,
Before you go, my friend, I must know. Do you have any elders that are of the old way, or any libraries that might have some information on the werewolves of your region? For as you know, every culture has them, but not every culture is the same.
Brandon kind of looks at you thoughtfully, and I'm gonna have you make a make a perception check using the ideas, using your. Let me think about this for a second. Let me think. No. Make a charisma check. Persuasion, you could call it. But, yeah, charisma is going to be your good skill, right? So, and you are Sean.
All right, so I need a D20. I need a D4.
If it's your good skill, it's going to be D6.
And the D20, right? Or no?
Yep, and a D20. Always D20.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay, so I got a 17 on the D20, and I got a 4.
Wonderful. He, Brandon kind of takes a moment to check and see if Puppy Guard is stable on his feet, and then he kind of leaves him alone for a minute and kind of walks a little bit closer to you, Sean, and says, "Look, I don't know what kind of knowledge you're seeking, but I've heard that in the chapel in Sablewood, there's a small library, and, well, some have mentioned tales. Tales of the lycanthropic variety. If you're seeking this kind of knowledge, you might start with the town priest. He's not a very busy man. It's a small town, as you know, I'm sure, and I'm sure that hasn't changed in the time I've been in the forest, but you should start there.
Does he have a name? How would I know this man?
Well, he's the only one wearing robes, unless, of course, that's changed too. They're ornate. They've got this red trim around them, and his name is Fendrel. Fendrel Quillshade.
Electro NyQuil.
Thank you, my friend. And a word of advice: stay away from chicken coops and dairy farms for a while. If I were you.
He's fine.
And then they hobble off at long last into the scrub towards scrub brush towards Sablewood.
Gonna have a weird relationship after this.
You're telling me.
Yep, I am. We also have a weird relationship. We need to work on that.
I would suggest lowering your alcohol consumption at your age.
I don't drink. That was
Then who-
involuntary.
So Samuel steps closer to the party, and he is kind of squinting towards the light that is starting to now leak into this forest clearing. The sun is cresting distant mountains that you can't see, and is starting to illuminate very faintly the forest floor. And he's squinting in this early morning light and looks back at you and says, "Well, I guess we, or you better get going. I'm not sure if my place is to continue or to go back. But, I suppose if I may be of service to you, I could stay. Where are we at with this? How are we feeling?"
I need to follow this map to this tree that Patina showed us. I suppose an open invitation is on the table, but I do not want to force anyone to follow my fate. I need to find answers, and I need to know the state of Silserpo.
I think I might still be of service to you if I continue on, and I might be at the same time able to report back to Claudius. So If it's no trouble, I might tag along on your journey.
I don't know. You plan on shooting anybody else in the shoulder on the team?
He did that?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I can understand your concern, halfling. And I apologize for how we met. If I'm shooting anyone else in the shoulder, it will go over yours.
Assuming
Good
I
enough for me.
dodged correctly. I will let bygones be bygones, but the next time I try to convince you that we took care of the big bad monster in the cave, you're gonna trust me, Kay?
Okay.
Thank you. Resonetta, let's go. You're in the back.
Resonetta will just sort of give a glance to anyone else if anyone wants to stay behind or if it looks like we're all going together.
Yes.
What are you looking at me like that for?
I am just checking everyone's resolve. We are, after all, investigating something I worshipped as a god. I do not know what awaits us.
So, Laura, how is your shoulder? Do you actually need a cure wounds? Or did we heal that already? I'm sorry, I lost track.
I'm going to say that the period of time that I was basically unconscious after you gave me that draft of whatever whiskey it was, basically did it what it needed to do. I do have inherent magic, which is of the resonating variety. So we're just going to say that the resonating magic inherent in my body was knitting my muscles back together after the arrow got pulled out. Unless Austin wants to gainsay my retconning.
Well, let's just say if he tries that again, I can have an excuse to have human flesh again.
I thought you said something about human blood needs to be put down, blah, blah, blah.
That, but I only kill on occasion for human.
Okay,
flesh.
so it's different when you do it. Got it.
It's only and takes off down the path ahead, kind of forging it himself with swipes of his hatchet or what have you.
Machete.
Machete, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And
didn't we just like fight overnight? Unless everyone's like got
it's dawn right now.
unlimited energy, we might need to take a rest, right? Just a thought. Do they have energy drinks in this room?
Sam kind of
Shotgun a White Claw.
That's a good point.
It's not an
I was
energy
really
drink,
just
good enough.
continuing on
Because like I feel like I don't want to leave the party, but I feel like we need a short rest, and I feel like I need to investigate more about werewolves before we go tangle with another one.
I've been hunting werewolves for a long time, and you never bothered to ask.
Well, not all of us have the energy of 1,000 young men on the daily, like you, my friend. Some of us actually need to rest, heal, and educate ourselves to feel more confident next time in battle.
The map we were given had another village, you said, right, Austin?
Yes.
Along the...
We'll say it does have another village, though it is... it is... It's very close to the mountain range, which is at the end of the forest. And considerably far north is the biggest settlement that is indicated on the map besides Sablewood.
So we're not within walking distance for a break in an inn or something.
No, I'm afraid not. Not that your characters would know of in this forest necessarily. But that said, Sam kind of takes a break with his machete and comes back. He says, I was really just trying to get out of the cannibalism conversation. I'm very tired too. Maybe we can set up camp here and rest for a few hours. I can make some breakfast and then we can reassess. And with that, he starts setting up camp and starts cooking up some wild mushrooms and whatever rations he's had. He has in his pack, perhaps some salted meats.
How rare is the meat?
Looks like it's from a cow, so fairly rare.
Good enough.
Did I ever tell you the tale about how I met the merfolk?
Sam says, please do tell.
Ah, yes, the merfolk. They are a kind and proud family bunch. Tales of a fish and the face of an angel. Ah, yes. Gladys was her name. She brought me many a pleasure in life. Lobster. Well, that's actually the greatest thing that the ocean has in pearls. Pearls the size of your fist. Yes, Gladys was quite the woman. It's a shame I had to roast her over a fire when we ran out of food. Anyway, that's my story of the merfolk.
What is going on in this goddamn country?
Well, you know, there's lack of leadership and it's a Western world, as it were, you know, wild and free, you know.
Can I have a private moment with Resonetta while they're setting up the camp?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've sidled up to Resonetta, kind of pulled her aside, and I kind of like, you know, Resonetta's like 7 feet tall or some crazy thing, and I'm like 5'4", so I'm like chest high right here, and I like poke her in the chest right where her flower is kind of like growing, and I go, so we gonna talk about this?
Did you not see the fairy that visited us?
I had many dreams, many vivid dreams, most involving my dog, Kitty, chasing chickens. I do not recall a fairy.
I see. When we first met, I had very little memories of my past. I did not know where I came from. I did not know what my life had been before the Order. After meeting this fairy, all of those memories have come back. I come from a wood very, very far away. There we worshipped a great serpent god we called Silserpo. She gets a little hesitant, not sure how you'll react to this. Through sacrifices of our kind, we believed we were supporting our god, giving him energy, and in return he would sustain our home and bless us. But one day it did not work. Normally a white flower, and she sort of points to her own chest, a white flower would bloom on the sacrifice's chest. This time, however, something happened. I do not know what. But before, where a white lily would grow on the tree, suddenly the tree began to wither and rot. Her eyes get very downcast, very distant, as she recalls essentially centuries of memories. The wood around us darkened. The trees withered. Horrid black tendrils like vines spread over everything they touched. Eventually, it began to affect us as well. Drove us mad. We could not tell friend from foe. There was no cure. I tried everything I could to reverse it. And then she locks eyes with you. I watched as my daughter succumbed. But for some reason, I alone survived. I wandered aimlessly, searching for someone, searching for the source, searching for Silserpo. I wandered and wandered.
We are together now. I'm grabbing your hands and looking at you in the eyes and just holding really, really tight. It's not just you. You're not responsible for any of this, and we will figure it out. I am so sorry you lost your whole tribe and your daughter. But we can fix this, whatever it is. And Silserpo, this god who brought this horrible curse upon you and your people, we're gonna make them pay.
Wait. Excuse me.
There is one more thing. Resonetta is not my name. It was the name given to me by the Order when I arrived. My true name is Firavelt.
I think it's pretty. And I'm glad it's not Puppy Guard, because that name is taken.
Resonetta.
I've been quietly rolling up on this, and I'm going to ask, what does the name Fierveld mean?
Essentially, it means fifth leaf. I was told I was the youngest of 5 of my kin.
Would you like to be called Fiervelt from now on?
You may call me what you wish. Firavelt, I think, continues to wander in her homewood. If Resonetta is whom you have become friends with, then that is fine.
Well, since our conversation's not private anymore, we can pick this back up later. For now, I am friends with Resonetta, and I'd like to make friends with Fiervelt when she feels like coming out. So, I'm gonna set up my camp over there. Thanks for sharing.
She gives you, if you'll let her, she gives you just a little pat on the head.
Yep. I don't know how to react to that, so I'm gonna walk away. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Larissa's character, Penelope, as you wandered up to get a word in on the conversation, you see above you in the canopy this great horned owl kind of looking down on you. And it kind of gives you a little and then kind of looks towards the rising sun and then realizes it might be have been out for too long and begins to take flight.
So I'm going to look up at it and I'm going to say, ooh, 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 ooh.
It'll kind of stop for a moment before it, as it's flapping, before it starts to flap its wings and look down, once more, and then kind of just give you like a knowing, like, oh, dude, Howl's not. I feel like it would just shake its head anyway. And then proceeds to kind of fly back whence it came further into the canopy.
I know I've been out of the adventuring game for a while, but is it normal for people to speak with owls?
When they're druids, yes.
My apologies, my lady. Carry on.
So, whoever's near me, I'm gonna tell them, hey, I'm gonna need a minute. I'll see you guys in half an hour. And I'm gonna follow the owl around for a little while, hooting with it.
Oh.
Don't wild shape. We'll lose you for however many hours, and I don't want to carry you.
Don't worry.
As you follow back, it leads you to where it kind of settles in at its nesting site, I guess. You can see in one of the trees. It's quite high up, but you can just glimpse, the twigs of a nest. And it's, well, no, it wouldn't be in a nest, it would be in the hollow of the tree. But you can see it kind of recessed in there. Doesn't...
Well, if it's great horned, it's probably a raccoon nest that it expropriated from the previous tenant. Persuasively.
We'll go with that. Yeah, and you can see remnants of raccoon hair scattered around the forest floor beside you. And the owl kind of pokes its head out, looks down at you, but not cautiously, and then goes back into the recession in the tree, some 15 feet above you.
All right, well, I'm going to look at the owl again, and I'm going to say, ooh, 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 ooh.
It gives you another hoot back. I don't know how much variety I can insert into this, but... And then it kind of just returns back to its nest, and you can see that it's got a few eggs that it's kind of expectantly watching. Then it kind of it just returns back to its nesting place.
Okay, that's all I need. I'm going to leave the owl to its own business and quietly go back to the group.
And as you do
I'll
so,
forage for some, forage on the way back. Maybe find some mushrooms, maybe some wild sweet potatoes.
Yeah, that breakfast could definitely use some variety. And as you return back to the camp, the sun is now shining brightly on everyone else, and you can see that people are eating and having a good time. And that is where I will zoom out a little bit on our adventure here and come in for a landing. From the adventure, and this includes we'll say that this just includes all the gold from the mission and stuff. That will be.
Is he super quiet for anyone else?
Hello, testing. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
You each get 16 gold pieces, which, if you're wondering, I'm not planning on doing lots of like shop scenes. But if you email me about what you want for your character with your gold, we can kind of go about it that way, with maybe some possible exceptions if it's really important to the story.
Austin, what's your gain at? Because it's like whenever you like slightly face away, you just get super quiet.
Oh, thanks for letting me know. Testing. Is this better? Hello, testing.
Yeah, as long as you're right on top of your mic, you're fine.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, I'm here.
Good to know. Okay. Well,
yeah, it was basically like whenever you leaned back or slightly looked away, it was just like fell off immediately.
Interesting. That's good to know. Someone is an English major. I'm sorry, I don't follow in the chat there. Someone's an English major.
The verbose way Miss Larissa was speaking, extricating, using wonderful vocabulary terms. I was like, someone's an English major, a writer, or is an enjoyer of the written word. And I was enjoying her verbiage.
as was I, and her owl expertise.
Do my best. Thank you.
You'd kill those Rivianites.
Okay, so you were saying gold. Let you know if we want to use it to purchase something.
Yeah, just let me know. Shoot me an email, and we will. We can do the purchasing that way. It's 16 each for the party here.
Okay.
Yeah, I need
How
to know.
many sessions give us a
Every
boost
other,
on
I
a
think.
skill?
Yeah, every other session. So that's a good
Every
point.
month.
So Verhelius, this is your second session. So
Now this would count for me, I think.
hold on, I just want to go through everyone here. So Kree, this is your. Let's see. If this is Resonette of the 6th session now, this will be your 5th session, I think. Kree. Fourth, and then Johnny Maxwell's first session. Just taking notes here. Tony didn't play character. Chris is 6. Dan is now 4, I believe. Vinny is 1. Andrew is 2 now. Andrew, you did attend the session. And I would love to hear more from your character as well, but I will let you upgrade one of your skills. Verhelius, I think this is number 3 for you?
Yes.
Penelope, this is...
Well, actually, hold on. Is it 4 or am I... Wait, hold on a second. Which one was the... I don't remember.
We'll say 4 then. Penelope, I think this is...
I'll look into it.
5? Is it 5 for you, Penelope?
So you're Dan, not Danny DeVito.
January was my first.
I wish I was Danny DeVito.
January, February, March, April. So 4 then. And then who do we leave? Oh yeah, that's everybody. So, so Laura should have. Kree should have 2 upgraded skills.
So if I applied them to the same scale that was already my good skill, it should be a D8.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
What? Wouldn't it be a wait, hold on. 2 upgrades to good skill. Wouldn't that be a D10?
Oh, you're right. You're
Is it
absolutely
a
right.
D10?
You're absolutely right. It starts at a D6. Thank you for catching that. Upgrades to D8 and then it upgrades to D10.
Why we do this?
And this is the first time that we're running this particular configuration rules, which I think, by the way, was pretty successful. I like how this is flowing. I'm very curious to hear your feedback as well. But I think
Will you be putting up a new note in the roleplay hub about that? Because it was a little confusing at first for me.
It should be all updated as of Thursday.
I did not see anything pertaining to that in the roleplay hub whatsoever, unless I'm looking at the wrong place.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find it either.
Okay, I'll double check
We'll figure
that
it out.
right now.
Yeah, the only thing that is there is the participate and watch, and then the lore. But there was nothing about the mechanics of it.
Oh, sorry, I just heard my voice, mic distorting. That's because it's not the rules aren't located there anymore. They're located in the Voices and Choices framework. Because it's a separate product that we're using
available. Okay.
For
Yeah,
more
okay,
flexible
that's why.
purposes.
Yeah, I was looking into the role-playing portal. Like I said, I did say the role-playing portal.
Yeah, I can understand the confusion there. I'll try to be more clear with that in the future. You should all have access to the Voices and Choices framework. And if you click on any one of the, there's only 3 modules in it, 3 chapters. But if you click on them, you can download the PDF of the rules as well. And
Where's that one more time? I couldn't catch it.
it's in.
There is a.
Go ahead.
Do I got it or you got it?
You can explain it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. In the members section of the Strawberry Hill Studio, you can scroll down past the member discounts, the workshop archive, blah blah blah, and you will see the Voices and Choices. You should be able to see it pretty quickly because it's one of the few that has its own unique icon.
To do that, some Voices and Choices.
Like once you log into the Strawberry Hill site.
Voices and Choices for what?
Voice and Choices, the simple role-playing framework.
Okay.
It is a module. It is in the same thing as the member discounts. It is under your resources.
Got it. And then also Austin, for the for how to say this, for my practice, it's still on for Saturday, right?
I think you scheduled with Raj, so if you did, then yeah, as far as I know, he is available on Saturday.
And then also I need to set up my profile so that way I can present to Karen's manager, you know, for the how to say this.
Okay. Is it just your? We did set up your profile. Is it just your demo reel that we need to add in? Because I can do that.
Yeah,
I can do that on the back end actually myself. If you
and then I
prefer.
need the link as well to send to them.
Yeah, that's just the link. I'll give you the link and I'll put the demo reel on it as well. I did want to take a few minutes to talk about a couple of things we have coming up very quickly. We don't have much time, but if you guys are Samurai Sun members, you can audition for a production that we're doing through Strawberry Hill Studio called Echoes of Eternity.
Oh, really?
Yes, and you have access to the auditions in your audition portal, which is right next to Voices and Choices, or next to hosting the game if you have access to that guide. But essentially, it's an original production that we are putting on through the studio. Karen Strassman is is involved in the project. She's going to be the narrator and the character Neichi in the second episode. The narrator is in every episode. She's the only one who's been cast officially in a specific role, but we've had lots of auditions, and the casting will be announced at the next roleplay workout. For the casting for the first episode will be announced at the next roleplay workout on May 14th, I think. Whatever it is.
No, start auditions.
So yeah, casting calls open. You can audition for the first episode and the second episode. The second episode has a larger variety of characters, but you're welcome to audition for the second and the first. The first will only be open. We're closing the auditions on May 7th, so you've got some time.
Yes, because it's like I've been trying. I have Samurais of Sound, but I couldn't see where I can audition.
So just how we were looking at before in your resources, it's called Audition Portal -Echoes of Eternity. It should be the last resource in your resources. And there's a form there. You can audition for as many characters as you want. Just make a different form submission, different audio file for each character.
Okay, so
yes,
Ivan / Echoes of Eternity. So explore, and then I just click.
And so just to finish my thought there, so for every episode that you casted in, you'll get $50 of Samurai Sound credit, and you get a link that you can use to get 50% of the sales for the season, access to season 1, for anyone who uses your link. So that's kind of how we're doing it for the first season.
A question. That uses the link. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What's the question about the link before we move on?
I mean, if he wants to go first.
No, I'd like to adjust the link too.
Okay, yeah. What I said was, what do you mean by use the link? Is it just like
you get in our backend system, it's called an affiliate link. It's a personalized link, a unique link that's for you, so you could share it with your network. And when people follow it, they go to the checkout page to access the season 1, and they can pay what they want if they're interested in supporting me further. Or they can pay $9.99 for the access to the first season, and you get 50% of whatever they pay. That gets logged in our backend, and I can see who I can see how the transactions are all linked, and then we'll do the payouts quarterly. So it can be a good way to get some exposure. You'll be on a project with Karen Strassman, who's obviously done Bleach and Code Geass and Sonic the Hedgehog, and these amazing projects. I was talking with her today about it.
Austin, a question for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are we gonna be doing a Zoom meeting on Wednesday?
I believe so. Let me check real quick. We are releasing on time here. Yep, I have you at 5:45. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Vinny's asking for my direct email. And I do see any form submissions on the site as well, but I will. Oh, I'm still in direct messages. Any other questions before we get going? I want to be respectful of everyone's time, of course. Yes,
One
Laura.
last one. What level am I?
Oh, great question. So I'm just tracking sessions, not necessarily levels, but you've had 4 sessions.
Okay, so I don't have to care about my level. Good. That one less thing for me to track. And that goes back to our new method of strength, dexterity, intelligence. I don't need to do +1, -2, any of that anymore at all. I just need to remember what die I'm rolling.
My recommendation would be to just write the name of the die. So if it's D4, D4 negative or nothing, or D6 or D8, so on and so forth. Just write the name of the die. Yeah.
That is good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I will hang out for a couple more minutes if anyone does have any last minute questions, but I want to thank you all for joining us. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for the next session.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Yes.
When you have a chance, can we check my sound equipment?
I'm sorry. Before people start leaving, I'm sorry. The next, keep your eye out for the emails. Wendy Lee will be joining us at a community hub coming up. Is it the next one or the one after?
Sounds like fun.
Oh no! No way! I met her.
I'd hoot for that.
I met her a few days ago. I met her at the Geek Culture Con, and I saw her with Raj.
Yeah, she's going to be at the community hub on April 29th, so you can register for that. And she's going to do a Q&A for her upcoming workshop, which is on auditioning for games and for animation and games. Okay.
And when is that workshop?
The May.
I'll get you the date for that. Yeah, it is May 17th. It was it was rescheduled, but it is May 17th now. I'll put it in the chat here, and I'll go ahead and throw in the Andrew. Yeah, you're a black belt member, so I will register you for that event. And let's see. I'll get you the link for the community hub that she's going to be at. Sorry, I know I'm going over my time. This is April 29th. Okay. Community hub. You can use that link to register. Anyone can register for this for free. And then if you're going to register for the Wendy Lee workshop and you're not a black belt member, you use your member discount. Don't forget.
Gotcha.
Andrew, you're good. You're a black belt, so I'll register for that one. Just email me. Just confirm.
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. You have a great one.
Take care of yourself,
guys. Thank you.
Bye. You have a great
Thank you
one.
very much for the owl encounter, Austin.
Bye.
See you, Austin.
All right, Ivan, take care. Thanks for joining.
Take care.
Technology. Thank you for the opportunity, Austin. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining. I'm really glad you're able to make it, Vinny.
I did have one question. I mean, I'm sure, all the information. It's just, I kind of figured out something in the middle of doing this. I think the reason why he's joining the party is that he wants to become a werewolf, so elongate his life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking about the lore of everything.
Yeah.
Because it's daytime and everyone's gonna go to sleep. I was gonna figure out how to be I'm just gonna go off and see the priest. Blah 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 blah.
Okay. Yeah. I was wary to split the party. I was like, oh, that feels like a lot right now. But that's so cool. Sean wants to be okay. I'm just jotting some notes down here. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I want because I'm on my last legs, but I want to enjoy life a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. That totally makes sense. I'll keep that in mind as I flesh out the next session. So I appreciate you doing that.
No problem. Yeah, I really just wanted to email you because I wanted I know I'm not a member just yet because funds. So I wanted to make sure I get all the information, the die and the charisma stats and all that stuff. Figure that out so I have a better idea of what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make sure that you should also have access to the Voices and Choices framework just because you registered for the roleplay workout. but I'll double check on that, and yeah, just connect with me over email. Okay.
I'll connect
You know what
over
is nice is that these guys do offer what's it called? Financing. They're sorry, they're partnered with Are you partnered, or is it just like a collaboration?
Afterpay Klarna, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. That's a partnership through the back-end system that we use. But yeah, you can use Afterpay or Klarna to split it up. Typically, it's either
I mean, hey, that's how I did it.
4 months, or I think there's a 12-month plan as well. So you kind of toy around with it on the checkout page there.
Yeah. Just like I wasn't sure like how to like just kind of get myself in there and such. So if you have any advice, please feel free to let me know, because
let me grab you. I think we may have given you this before, but I will give you there's a 20%. Sorry, there is a 20% discount code that I can give you.
Is that that's a one-time code, right?
It is a one-time code. The 20%. It does expire.
So I can't use it next year.
It does expire in 24 hours, but the when I give it to you, but the 10% doesn't. Let me get you.
Yeah, I can't quite do that right now. I'm in the middle of dealing with a bunch of stuff.
Then let me just get you the normal one that we give out, which is the 10%.
No, I'm saying like right now, but yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm just like getting back on my feet. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying if you want to experiment with the financing stuff, I'll just give you the link. It's not going to expire or anything. If you want to follow it, it's in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got to get going. But again, thanks, Vinny. Keep an eye out on your emails. Will be Raj got you that feature in the newsletter.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. We're going to feature in the newsletter. So, yeah.
I was totally joking. I didn't think you guys were actually going to do that. That's awesome.
No, send me an email with if you have specifics that you want. It's just a it's a paragraph, like 4 sentences or so. But send me some details, and I'll it's a cool opportunity. So we want to.
Oh, actually, awesome. This is one thing. What is the you said earlier? I don't know if you remember this, but like when I should produce like an actual demo reel is when I would basically look back on something that I've done and say, yeah, I don't think I would have done that any differently, right?
That's typically how I think about it. I think about it like if you listen back like 2 months ago and you're like okay, like I feel pretty confident about that. And then like you maybe like you play it for one of the Samurai Sound community members or like someone close to you who you go to for advice, and they're like, okay, like I can see that, like that's I get where you're coming from. That's really emotionally, you're hitting the right notes, depending on what it is, right? But that's kind of my metric for demo reels. Yeah.
Is that also? Is there like a different like rule of thumb?
That's my rule of thumb. But if you're feeling, it also depends on where you're at with your career. If you're like, okay, I know that I'm in a space where I can start committing some time every week to put myself out there doing auditions. Like I'm ready for this. Like there's no harm in just jumping in, right? You can get started with demo reel production at any stage. And
I've got actually a different voice like audition coming up, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Some person in a game is asking for some voice lines. I'm gonna throw my lot in there. I'm gonna throw my lot in the Echoes of Eternity as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, maybe I'll look into getting a demo reel.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds perfect. I think you'll be in a really good spot by then, where you've gotten some feedback from different places, and that'll time out really well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if I'll get any feedback from this first person because they basically announced to the entire Discord server of a lot of members.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, a little over 10,000 members that is going on, so I probably won't be getting personal feedback from them.
But that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. So, what I might do is I might record these same lines along with the blurb that they put down so people know what's looking at, and then like basically put mine down for peer review, I suppose is the right word.
Yeah. And you can use the Echoes of Eternity material any way you see fit. And
yeah. All right, thank you. I won't hold you here any longer.
Okay. All right. Take care, Dan.
Because it's 10:40 here. So
Oh gosh, yeah. Get some sleep. All right. Take care.
I'm not working tomorrow.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, Austin. See you when I see you.
Thanks, Dan. Bye.